Today is the day I return to the kitchen. Hello! How you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. And if you're not, and you want to vent, let it out. Let it out in the comment section. You know what? I read pretty much all of my comments, even if it's not good for my mental sanity sometimes. I read all of them. So if you're having a bad day and you want to vent, I'll be your internet shoulder to cry on. It's been a while since I've cooked something on this channel, and the reason for that is because the last time I did, I almost set fire to my apartment, which sounds like a fun little sprinkle, like a little tidbit, a little humorous anecdote, but it's not. My oven was on fire. My oven was on fire. Pure fire, dude. So yeah, I guess we're taking a leap and we'll see how it goes. Today's video is very, very heavily inspired by a couple of videos that the amazing, wonderful, radiant, beautiful, fantabulous Click for Taz did. Is fantabulous even a word? Someone fact check. And she made two videos on the British nutritional diet and also the Japanese 1975 nutritional diet. I really enjoyed these videos and they made me kind of want to do something similar myself. So please go and give love and respect to the wonderful Click for Taz for basically inspiring this video. My kitten did not like the fact that he was outside the door. Do you want to film with me? No? You're not a fan? Same. Atlas, I'm gonna need you to stop playing with the jingly toys. I'm trying to pay the bills, my dude. He doesn't care. He has no respect for authority. And you gotta respect it. So in today's video, I'm gonna try and eat the South Korean daily guidelines for nutrition, which are essentially what they recommend you eat every day to be a healthy, high-functioning individual. So the reason I chose South Korea was because, number one, huge fan of Korean food, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Number two, because South Korea has one of the lowest obesity rates in the OECD, which means, you know, they must be getting something right. And number three is because South Koreans live longer. The UN average life expectancy is 72.6 years, but the average South Korean lives 10 years longer than this. Is it something in the water or is it really the food? Now, when I was looking up the daily guidance from the health ministry in South Korea, this was the picture that I found. Now, something you will notice is that this food wheel doesn't actually specify particular meals that you should consume. It doesn't suggest meals that you have to have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So given that, you could quite literally eat cereal for breakfast and you would still be in line with these South Korean guidelines. So I decided that it would be a lot more interesting if I spent the entire day meeting this nutritional guidance by only consuming Korean meals that I had made. But if you're familiar with the channel, you'll know before we get into it, we have to make a little detour to everyone's favourite corner. Hello everyone and welcome to a very quiet integration corner today. As you can see, we have a guest, a co-star if you will, whose only role is to take a nap. I'm super excited and grateful to welcome Skillshare back to the corner. As many of you know, Skillshare and me, we're basically co-parenting this little guy at this point. Like, me and Skillshare, we are to be wed. It's safe to say that both Atlas and myself love Skillshare, and I'm going to tell you all the reasons why you should love Skillshare too. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. Skillshare has thousands of classes to satisfy whatever creative desire your heart has. Oh, you're taking a stretch. Recently, I've had a lot of issues with my computer and my editing software, so I've been trying my hardest to learn Premiere Pro. As many of you know, technology just breaks around me. Just anything even slightly related to technology, gone. And so, as I do with any challenge that I face in modern times, I go to Skillshare to see if they have a class for it. Thankfully, I found the Learn Premiere Pro and Edit a how-to video for beginners by an incredible YouTuber, creative director, and executive producer named Elise. This class is the only reason I haven't thrown my computer across the room. Elise has the most genuinely calming voice, and everything is so clear that whilst doing the class, I found myself actually enjoying learning how to use Premiere Pro as opposed to just screaming into the technological abyss. I'm so grateful that Skillshare has consistently supported my channel through these sponsorships, because Skillshare is my go-to place anytime I want to know how to do something or I feel like a new creative challenge. I cannot express how much I love Skillshare, and being able to show it and share it with you guys. I feel like you should all have it. And that leads me on to what I'm offering you to seal the deal. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the description below will receive 30% off an annual premium membership, which is such a big deal. He just woke up. And even if you've already used a free trial of Skillshare, this offer is still applicable for you. So you can get a full year of unlimited learning and creative exploration. Okay, my camera died, but I'm with child, so I can't get a new battery. Click the link in the description down below, get yourself a Skillshare premium membership. I promise you it'll be the best thing you've done all year. A hard sell, but it's the truth. And by clicking the link in the description down below, you are helping to support my channel by supporting my sponsors, which is very kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you yet again to Skillshare for sponsoring another video. And now I'm gonna let you guys return to the video. Say bye, Atlas. So it took me a while to pick foods and meals that I thought that I would actually have a decent chance of making. I love flavorful foods. I'm just not very good at creating them. So I tend to stick to foods that are a lot more simple, like pesto pasta, baked potatoes. But having been to Korea before, I had a kind of baseline of foods that I knew that I really enjoyed. And so for breakfast, I decided to make a bibimbap. And this is basically a hot stone bowl full of rice and veggies and egg. Now this is usually served with meat as well, but in true bisexual fashion, I gave the meat a pass. For lunch, I decided to make japchae, which is glass noodle stir fry. And then for dinner, I decided to make a fried Korean chicken. And so with all that out of the way, all that's left is to get cooking. Good morning! I think last time we were in my kitchen, I was doing abstract art on the table. We all know how well that went. So bibimbap is like the first meal that I ever had in Korea. It was so nice that the next day I went out and I ordered bibimbap again. But when it arrived, I burnt myself really badly on the bowl. Because unbeknownst to me, there is bibimbap and then there's dolsop bibimbap, which is like served in a scorching hot stone bowl. And the idea is that the food can keep cooking inside the bowl and it kind of like crisps up the rice. You can cook an egg in there too. So I went on the internet, which is, you know, crazy. And I got some bowls. I have partially unwrapped them already, but they have like this nice little stone holder. And then these are the bowls, and they are incredibly heavy. So with these bowls, there are a couple things I have to do. I have to heat them up with salt water in first, then pour it out and pour sesame oil around the inside of the bowl. The bowl then absorbs the sesame oil and it stops food from sticking. So I'm gonna do that once I've put the rice on, and hopefully the timings will be alright. By the way, if I do pronounce any Korean words wrong in this, please do correct me in the comments down below. I'm not a native Korean speaker, obviously, so I'm just a gal trying my best. So the recipes that I'm using today for these foods are mainly off of a website called My Korean Kitchen. I've cooked from there before. They do have amazing recipes. So if you are interested in Korean cuisine, you want to make some more traditional Korean meals, head on over there and, you know, give it a go. So dolsop bibimbap is traditionally made with meat, usually bulgogi, beef, but I don't think my digestion could hack beef for breakfast. So I'm gonna be making a vegetarian version. Please excuse how dirty this cutting board is. I cut a tomato on it last night and I didn't want to clean it up. I'm gonna be honest with you, I just didn't want to do it. And so this is what we're left with. Please don't judge me, and please ignore John's garlic apple. So these are pretty much all our ingredients. We have eggs, portobello mushrooms, which were an alternative to shiitake mushrooms, which I couldn't find anywhere. We've got a courgette, an English cucumber, gochujang, which is red pepper paste, sesame oil, sugar, spinach for a side dish, and kimchi. So something about Korean food that you might not know is that a lot of the main dishes have lots of satellite dishes, so smaller side dishes that you eat with them that enhance flavors or just give an extra little spice. So for this dish, the side dishes that I'm making are Korean spinach side dish and then kimchi, which is fermented cabbage, I think it's cabbage. I always want to say lettuce. I am not going to make kimchi because it takes a very long time to ferment and I don't have the facilities nor the experience to make good kimchi. So unfortunately we've got kimchi in a can, which is not really... It's not ideal, but it's the best we could do given the circumstances. Okay, so the first thing that we're making is oinamyeol, which is a Korean cucumber side dish. We're using an English cucumber, which is a ridged cucumber, I think it's called. I had to go to Waitrose for this, so you know, it's one of those items. It's one of those ingredients. It just looks like a regular cucumber, but with like a lot of whiteheads. I don't like it. Okay, we're gonna salt the cucumber a bunch. I think this is to dehydrate it, but who really knows? Not me. Not me. I forgot to put the rice on. I had a bit of an issue with breakfast because as I mentioned, I'm not great at timing, which meant everything was ready at slightly different times. I almost burnt all of the vegetables because the rice wasn't ready and then I hadn't heated the bowls up at the right time, so the bowls took a while to get hot. I've got my sides almost ready. I just have to fry the cucumber and then we're good. We're almost done. It's taken me an hour to sort this all out. Honestly, give me some beef. Because I'm a slow cooker. I'm so hungry, dude. It's literally 12. I have to have lunch soon. Did burn myself on those bowls, by the way. Very hot. If you are going to get a dolsop bowl, whether it's a stone bowl or a ceramic bowl, please be really careful. I burnt my thumb. And it hurt. Dude, come here. Listen.
Here.
Oh no.
It's ballsy to do that with a fork.
But despite the fact that I kind of messed up the timing on every single ingredient, the final product, dude, it might be the most delicious thing I've ever made in my life. Okay, so this is dolsop bibimbap. The bowl's really hot. Do not touch the bowl. I'm very hungry because this took me way too long to cook. I genuinely cannot believe that something that looks that nice came from me. I tell you now, the pride that I felt inside. I was meant to study after this because I had an exam the next day, but I took a nap. You know when you eat so much food that you just need to sleep? I don't understand it. Like, my body cannot digest and function. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I had a nap. It's now time to do some studying because I have an exam tomorrow and I didn't attend most of the lectures this semester, so time to do some studying. But after all that hardcore studying action, I needed to give myself some brain food, so I decided that it was time for lunch. It's time for lunch. Alice, get on the table! What are you doing on the table? Dude, you cannot go on the table. You routinely walk in your own poo. People eat there, dude. Okay, so for lunch, I'm making japchae. I think that's how you say it. And japchae is basically glass noodles, which are sweet potato noodles, in a stir fry, essentially. I'm not the biggest fan of glass noodles, but I thought that it might just be because the times that I've had them, the dishes were just a bit meh. So I'm gonna give it a go. And hopefully it's delicious. Okay, so this is everything that I need from the fridge. I completely forgot that this needed ribeye. I don't really eat beef, so I'm a bit unsure, but I'm sure it's gonna be delicious. Ooh, is this off? It doesn't look good. This looks gone off, dude. That's off, right? That's like green. I thought it would be okay. I only bought it 2 days ago. I bought it on the 14th. Oh, to be fair, it does say on the packet, used by the 14th. So I think she gave me meat that went out of date that same day and just didn't tell me. Oh, that's such pain. That was a waste of £5. Lucky for me, I foresaw something like this happening and I bought a second ribeye steak from Morrison's. I'm lying, I didn't think of this. I just accidentally bought a second steak yesterday because I forgot that I'd already bought it. That's the sign of a good chef. When you're so accidentally prepared for every occasion. Okay, so the spinach and the mushrooms are ready to go. I gotta cut up the rest of the vegetables. We got the noodle water going. We got the meat marinating. I'm not sure that's a word, but... How many of you, out of curiosity, cook a breakfast, lunch and dinner? I'm not talking like a sandwich, I mean like actually cook a proper meal, breakfast, lunch and dinner. The only meal that I cook usually is dinner. I don't know, the effort that you guys have is astounding. Good for you. Right, I'm gonna cook the rest of this stuff and check in with you guys when it's almost done because it's getting very loud over here. I'm pretty sure I'm overcooking this, but I have literally no idea how to cook meat, so please don't judge me. It looks pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna serve this up, and I gotta fry an egg, and then I think we're done. Here is the dish. We've done it. You're back for the second time today. We've got Jean as the ultimate taste tester, and it is Korean glass noodles, which are sweet potato noodles, a variety of different vegetables, and beef.
It's not the best beef in the world that we got, but I think that what you did to it made it good.
I think this is really good. I wouldn't usually eat something like this, and I'm glad that this has kind of forced me to try something new because the flavors are really good. There's no spice though. So if you're not a fan of spicy food, this would be the one to try. Look how pretty that looks. There's just like a lot of color. It's really fun.
Thank you for this.
You're very welcome. This has changed my mind about glass noodles because I wasn't sure if I liked them or not, but these are really delicious. What's your ranking out of 10?
I give it a solid 7 out of 10. And if you could work spice into it somehow, it could definitely hit a 9.
We'll see you after I've eaten my food. I think I've got a couple of snacks left and then we've got dinner. So. See you in a bit. After lunch, I did a bit more studying because these exams aren't going to pass themselves, unfortunately. And I had an apple. Okay, so I've just been studying for a bit. I am going to have my apple with some peanut butter and a couple of almonds. Good for the brain, good for the heart, I think. And after that, I played video games for a little bit. When she's a gamer. Because I think it's really important, especially when you're studying and you're about to enter, you know, a quite intense exam period, that you do give yourself some time to, you know, decompress and just unpack all that stress. This is what I'm going to be doing for the majority of the summer. Once uni ends this week, This is just a glimpse into my future. And then it was time for dinner. Okay, so I've just finished gaming. I am gonna make dinner now. It is a bit later than we would usually eat because I think we usually eat around 7, maybe half 7, and it is now 8 o'clock. Oh my god, that was scary with Atlas's eyes. So for dinner, I'm making like spicy Korean chicken, and I'm very excited. I was gonna make fried chicken, but hot oil and me, not a good combo. I'm very excited about this because it's a bit more simple than the other recipes that I've made today, which is very much needed because I don't know if this is a thing, but I have like cooking fatigue. I've really enjoyed making these things, but making 3 new recipes in one day is quite full on for someone whose main dish of speciality is jam on toast. Okay, so this is our ingredients list. We've got carrots, ginger, spinach, bean sprouts, garlic, gochujang, chicken. Most of this is just for the marinade for the chicken because you have to like soak it a bit, and the rest of it is veggies that I'm just gonna stir fry and kind of have on the side. We also have all our banchan from earlier, the side dishes as well that is gonna go with this. So before I start cutting everything and like getting it cooking, I'm gonna put on the rice because I'm gonna have brown rice with this dish just because I had white rice earlier and brown rice is a bit more nutritious and I just wanted to have that extra added nutrition in there. I really don't like touching raw chicken. There's just something about it that makes me feel like icky. Maybe it's the fact that it feels like baby's cheeks, because it does feel like a baby's cheek. If you've ever felt baby's cheeks, it's exactly like chicken breast. So I'm not trying to say that babies are made out of raw chicken, but is it a coincidence? I'm 100% sure that the comments of this video are just going to be people critiquing my cooking technique. Like the ways that I cut things, cook things. It's going to be under a microscope and I can't say I'm thrilled about it. I'm going to look in the comments, it's just going to be loads of people calling me an idiot sandwich. Raw chicken really does smell, man. It doesn't smell like babies though, so maybe my hypothesis was wrong. Also, fun little fact that I found out not that long ago. Is that a hypothesis and a theory are different. So when people say I have a theory, what they actually have is a hypothesis, and they're just lying to you. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't have any measuring spoons, so all of my measurements are very approximate. Highly questionable tablespoon size, but there we are. Ooh, 3 cloves of garlic? My guy. Trying to make me unkissable. I have no clean cutting boards at this point, so I'm gonna cut it on top of the egg box. I mean, as far as chopping boards go, I've had worse chopping boards than on top of a bunch of eggs. Ta-da! Chicken done. I'm now just gonna stir fry a bunch of veggies and wait for the rice to be done, and then that'll give me time to at least marinate the chicken for like a little bit. I think like 20 minutes, which is better than nothing, realistically. And then I'll add it all together and show you guys what I got, which hopefully will be some magic. I know you're not supposed to want to eat semi-raw chicken, but it's looking like a snack right now. Okay, it is taste test time. That chicken's really good. I really like this.
It's excellent.
It's a good,
it's excellent.
It's getting a lot of sesame in there.
I definitely eat, yeah, sesame heavy for sure.
Maybe
but you know,
too
we like
sesame.
Maybe the sesame seed on top was a little bit cheeky.
Delicious, nutritious.
10 out of 10.
What's been your
again.
favorite meal?
I think I prefer this, but I could be biased towards the fact that it has chicken in it.
You do love chicken. You are a big chicken fan.
I did like the sauce on the other one.
This tastes like the kind of food you'd eat if you needed a hug.
Especially this brown rice.
Yeah, I think the brown rice really helps. It does just taste like a hug. The one thing I've noticed today is that I do feel really full up. There's a lot of like heartiness in the whole grains and in the like carbs. It's a lot more than I usually eat in terms of carbs. Equally, I don't mind it. After dinner, I had a strawberry yogurt for dessert, and it was full of biocultures, which apparently I need. Apparently I want that. So I ate that because science. And then I was done. I had completed the Korean daily nutritional guidance, which I really, throughout this whole video, have been thinking of a catchier name. Like, I've been trying to find a way to make it sound cool. But it really is just it's just a mouthful to say that, really. Overall, I had so much fun doing this, and I think what it reminded me of is the importance of not getting stuck in your routine in terms of what you eat. It kind of takes the fun out of cooking, it takes the fun out of eating, and it kind of just makes cooking feel like a chore. But when you go out of your way to make things that you've never made before, to try foods that you potentially have never had, and to just make an experience of it, it really reminds you of the pleasure of eating and trying new things. Cooking doesn't have to feel like a chore, and I think a lot of the time we forget that. Well, I forget that anyway. There are quite literally millions of recipes out there just waiting for you to try, and it seems a shame to just stay in our little comfort bubble of beige foods in my case. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to give it a cheeky little thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. It's a free world. You do you. Have you guys tried Korean food before? If not, are you going to try it now? Let me know in the comments down below. If not Korean food, have you had a similar experience with food in general, where a certain cuisine or meal made you realize that food could be fun? Don't forget to hydrate, drink your water, drink it, chug it, slurp it, gulp it. I don't care how you do it. Bop it if you have to. Hydrate, it's good for you. And I will see you lovely lot next week with another video. Kisses to your mother.